How do you get people to watch through a whole video?
You want a Disney level show for cleaning toilets. Mr. Beast is very good at this. He usually starts and says the word I gave away $1 million. I helped feed 10,000 people. If you're everything to everyone, you're going to be nothing to no one.
I know a lot of the top people in local marketing and home services, but I didn't realize that you're actually the mastermind behind a lot of these channels. You were really there since the inception of YouTube.
YouTube is bigger than Amazon and Netflix and Hulu.
Wow.
That's how many people are watching videos on YouTube. The plumber or the drywaller is going to make more money than the person going viral doing dances.
What is your message for the local businesses out there or just the creators out there? What do you want to tell them? What do you think they need to know?
I think...
Hey there, my name's Danny Leibrandt, and welcome back to Local Marketing Secrets. Today I'm joined by Jeremy Vest, one of the top YouTube strategists in the world and the founder of Creator Unlock. Jeremy's helped thousands of businesses and creators grow with video, and he's worked with some of the biggest YouTube channels in the world, like Grant Cardone, along with many of the top YouTube channels and home services, like Roger Wakefield. In this episode, we're going to break down what actually works on YouTube in 2025 and beyond, how local service companies can use video to dominate their market, and the biggest mistakes businesses make when it comes to content. Now, without further ado, Jeremy, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So like I said before the show, Jeremy, I know a lot of the top people in, local marketing and home services, but I didn't realize that you're actually the mastermind behind a lot of these channels like Roger Wakefield, even my partner, Jonas Olson, Joy Hawkins' channel, which is the #2 channel in local SEO now. She has like 115,000 subscribers. So I want you to just first walk me back to the beginning. How did you get started with all this?
So I am old. I'm 49. And I've been in digital marketing only my entire career. So I started as a web designer in 2000. So this is my 25th year in digital marketing. I was actually, sounds crazy to say out loud, but it's actually one of the first digital marketers because before I think the internet in America started in 1995. So I started in web design. I got into digital marketing, SEO. I started getting into about 5 or 6 years later, about 2005, 2006, I started wanting to teach everyone all this SEO and digital marketing and web design stuff that I knew. Because honestly, back then, there wasn't a lot of knowledge of the 1% type players out there. There was definitely you could learn how to make a website or do basic SEO, but there wasn't a lot of great information. So I started making courses. There was one of my mentors was someone, lynda.com, Linda Wyman. She ended up selling her course company for over $1 billion to LinkedIn. So now LinkedIn Learning is what lynda.com was. And I created kind of a similar product. It was called X-Train, expert training. And we actually created the first 30 hours of training for Adobe Television. Adobe Television ended about a year or two ago, but they're getting 10 million plus views a month on their training platform and YouTube. Wow. So that was kind of the start is I started in digital marketing and I immediately went to online education. And around the time, 2006, around the time that I was getting into online education, YouTube had started in 2005. So YouTube's 20 years old now, and I've been a YouTube strategist for about 19 years. So I've pretty much been in this space since the beginning, and with my knowledge of, digital marketing and SEO, it was very easy for me to figure out YouTube, and I've, got to speak all over the world, and I've worked with over 20 of the top 100 brands in America, and obviously worked with thousands and thousands of channels. And now I own a company called Creator Unlock, where we have created the first ever YouTube strategy platform for small businesses.
So cool, man. Wow. So you were really there since the inception of YouTube. Talk to me a little bit about the evolution of YouTube then. Like, what does the past 20 years look like? What was it back then, and what has it changed into now?
At the beginning, it wasn't about mobile phones, right? But then, I'm not exactly sure. It was like 2007, 2008 or something like that when the iPhone came out. When the iPhone came out, it pretty much went from desktop viewership to mobile devices. And when I talk about the history of YouTube, I'm really always talking about viewership because I'm not sure what else matters, because it's like the viewers that drive the shows, it's the viewers that drive the technology. So the biggest change ever to take place on YouTube happened this year, in my opinion, in the last 20 years. So we started off on the desktop. We went to like 90+% mobile views because everyone was on their iPhones watching YouTube videos. But now, this year, the number one source of watch time on YouTube is televisions. In fact, YouTube is bigger than like Amazon and Netflix and Hulu.
Wow.
That's how many people are watching videos on YouTube. So what that means is, we used to make these how-to videos, like how to, how to get rid of rats in your basement type of video. But now people are leaning back, not clicking, and watching. So we went from desktop to mobile devices to vertical videos to now television shows. And YouTube is rolling out the ability again. They had this a long time ago to have episodic kind of Hulu style experiences and Amazon and Netflix style experiences with your YouTube channel. So I'll give you an example. One of the companies that I did a lot of YouTube strategy for is called vidIQ. They're a YouTube company. Like they help people with titles and thumbnails and stuff. When I started working with them 5-6 years ago, they had about 100,000 subscribers. Now they're over 2 million subscribers. I really helped them with their strategy. I helped them really blow up. And there's this new channel called Colin and Samir. Let's just say, for theoretical purposes, vidIQ is getting 5 to 10 minutes watch time with their how-to videos. They're really teaching you how to fish, how to get more views, how to get more subscribers. That's the type of content they're still doing to this day. Colin and Samir, however, have 1, 2, or 3 hour long shows, and they're giving you an experience. They'll bring on Mr. Beast and say, dude, how did you do this? And it's just kind of like a podcast. And Colin and Samir's average video gets 45 minutes watch time. Average.
Really?
The number one ranking algorithm on YouTube, is watch time. So YouTube is going to, if you really think about what YouTube is, it's an advertising platform. They want to sell ads so that they can make more money. If they have a choice between sending you a video that you're going to watch for 10 minutes or 45 minutes, they're always going to send the 45-minute video to you. So what that really means is Colin Samir is going to absolutely destroy every other creator channel and blow up 1 billion times faster because 45 minutes watch time, not 5 or 10 minutes watch time. So the biggest kind of change today is the lean back television style shows are dominating everything. How to fix your toilet or, how to get rid of rats are still important and it's still part of the strategy, but it's really small in comparison to entertaining and educating people in like a multi-hour show format.
Dang. Okay. I think you mentioned the aspect of TV and the Joy Hawkins webinar that I watched, but I wasn't totally clear on that. So let me just be very clear on this. You're saying that people watch YouTube on TV more than mobile or desktop, and they watch YouTube on TV more than Netflix on TV.
Yep.
Wow. And do you know the split there?
I don't remember. I do have the data. And they're also the biggest podcast platform in the world.
Yeah, that too. So, wow. Okay, so Google or YouTube just dominates everything then. And okay, so do you think that like how should people be optimizing for TV then? How does that differ?
The only thing I would say is storytelling, anticipation. There's things called curiosity gaps. Basically, here's the thing. I'm not trying to get too nerdy right now. I want you on the edge of your seat, and I want you to be excited about the next thing that's going to happen. So I watch a lot of fishing YouTube channels, and some of them are pretty boring. But here's the thing. In the first 30 seconds or 5 or 2 seconds of the video, I watched a video last night. They caught a 850-pound tuna. If in the first 2 seconds I didn't see that 850-pound tuna, I would have not watched a 30-minute video.
Dang.
So it's about the teasing and the storytelling, and like every Disney movie has a formula that closely follows the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is, just like any princess. You probably have a wicked stepmother, you probably failed, like you had a horrible life, everything sucks, everything's broken. You find a prince, everything's starting to look up, and then happily ever after. So you really want that kind of philosophy in your videos, even if you're teaching people how to clean toilets. You want a Disney level show for cleaning toilets or removing pests. And the reason is human nature. What if I started like a pest control video with something like, these bed bugs could have killed my sister?
Dang, that's so good.
You see what I'm saying? And bed bugs have actually killed people before, right? It's like rare, but or what if you do like a video like reporting of someone who died from a bed bug, and you're like, this bed bug killed her sister. And then you then you get into it, like how to prevent them, how to the whole thing, the history. So anyways, that is a big difference than how to fix a leaky toilet the easy way 2026. That I'm not going to say that stuff's dead, but I'm not going to say it's alive either.
Well, and also I'd say because it's getting much more competitive, right? There's so many YouTube videos. There's so many things that are trying to grab your attention that you have to do it better than other people, right?
Absolutely. And, the truth is, even though Roger Wakefield, one of my students and a business partner for Creator Unlock, even though he still, if you type in plumbing or plumber on YouTube, he ranks #1 in the world. The idea that a plumber could outrank him in 2026 is very tough because the competition, 1,000, 10,000%, every year there's more and more. And now that there's so much AI, I could go make 1 million videos on pest control in a year.
Yeah.
And even if I get 1 view per video, I'm going to dominate you. It's so then what does this mean now? Like, what does it mean to be a creator? And I would say it's about personality, storytelling, and differentiating. And as you know, when you're selling a course, you're not actually selling a course. You're selling access and accountability. People want to be held accountable, and they want access to the best people in the world who are already millionaires. That's what they want. They don't give a crap about a course. When I was working with Adobe, we learned that most people, like over 90% of people, never read a book they buy.
Yeah.
And like over 70% of people never even open a course they buy, and they never will. So, what does that mean, right? Like people want access, they want accountability. So when you have like mastermind groups and, instructor led like 12-week courses, that number flips on its head because people want experts and they want the answers. And that's why AI is kind of killing courses, in my opinion, because they're just getting the answers and they're making the stuff happen.
Okay, interesting. So there's less of a prevalence, or maybe the courses are somewhat dying off. I wanted to dive into the like AI videos on YouTube because I'm really fascinated by this and kind of worried. I know I mean I've maybe in the past 5 years or so I've seen a lot of faceless channels, and I see people also then selling a course on that of how to make a faceless channel in 2025 or whatever and grow it to 100,000 subscribers. And I've seen people see success with it, but now there also be AI videos. And I was watching Diary of a CEO, which obviously you know him. I don't know, watching about a week or two ago. And what he said was that he is ultimately going to optimize for the user. So if people would rather have a AI Stephen Bartlett instead of the actual Stephen Bartlett, then he will replace himself because he's all about the data, whatever the users prefer. And I mean, do you see that going down like a negative path? Are you worried about this?
Here's how I view it. We started with like the phonograph, and then the record player, and then the 8-track, and then the cassette tape, and then the DVD, Blu-ray, and now digital music. Like we're always technology. Everything is always evolving.
Mm-hmm.
If my hair was always perfect and my teeth was always white long term, like you never know. I don't think I do think today, 2025, I do think AI videos in general suck. But the advancement that's happening is so insane. I could imagine that if you want another version of Star Wars 5 years from now, you're just going to type in a prompt and say, I want Spider-Man to be in Star Wars, and I want Star Wars to take place in Disneyland. And I absolutely believe if you don't believe that there's something past digital music, you're probably lying to yourself, right? Because everything always evolves. So this is the way I look at it. One of my students, Austin Armstrong, is the founder of Syllabi, one of the largest faceless AI softwares for videos in the world. And faceless, not faceless, AI, not AI, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is storytelling, watch time. If, for example, you have a history channel and you're showing all this stuff about like the history of World War II, no one cares about you unless you're Tom Hanks or something. They want to see the footage of World War II. They want to see like the particular guns and bombs and stuff like used in planes and helicopters and well, there was no helicopters in World War II. But my point is, I think I remember when digital cameras came out. That's how old I am. And I was in like the Photoshop, space, like going to Photoshop World Conference and all this stuff. And I remember all these kind of older gentlemen being like, digital cameras are stupid. They're never going to be able to replace film. And what I don't want any of your audience members to think about is being the old dude sticking to film. Because the difference between a digital camera today with like a quadrillion megapixels and a film camera is laughable, 10, 15 years later. The quality of what we can produce today with digital cameras is light years ahead of any film ever. So what I don't want your audience to think is what is now is going to be is the future. So a faceless channel could be 10 times better than your channel if you have good storytelling and drama and, and excitement. Faceless AI, none of this matters. It's a vehicle to help you create. In my opinion, it's almost like an artist uses a paintbrush or chalk or ink. Someone with chalk could do a better job than you could do with ink or pastels. Like, none of that actually matters. There's all of those types of paintings are still in the Smithsonian. It doesn't matter how you got there at all.
Interesting. Okay. No, there's a lot of good takes there. Essentially, the consensus I got was two things: was that you cannot escape technology evolving, and storytelling will still prevail. So I wanted to ask you about storytelling. But can you explain storytelling, and how do you tell a good story?
Yeah. So I'm a data scientist and a nerd, right? So storytelling on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook is a little different than storytelling in a classical book or a movie. And the big difference is because we also have our phones in our hand and maybe tablets and other stuff and kids screaming in the background. We need a hook. We need the hook to happen faster. So we really need this kind of dramatic, and Mr. Beast is very good at this. He usually starts and says the word I gave away $1 million, or I helped feed 10,000 people, or something like I helped 1,000 people walk for the first time.
Yeah.
That is 10 times more powerful than most YouTube creators or stories or books you'll ever read. So you really have to start people off with the promise, the hook, the curiosity gap, the excitement, and that, it's almost like headlines, newspaper headlines from the 1800s, 1900s was very similar. You still had to hook people. A lot of people get confused, especially in titles, with clickbait. A lot of people actually believe clickbait's bad, and you're just wrong. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason you're wrong is clickbait is not bad if it delivers the promise. It's human nature. If there's a baby with 3 heads, you're going to click and read that. But if the baby doesn't actually have 3 heads, you're a terrible marketer, you're a terrible creator, and you're lying to people. So if it delivers the truth, it's not clickbait. It's just an exciting headline, exciting story, exciting hook. So by having 1,000 people see for the first time, that's not clickbait. It's not clickbait at all. It's just that he really did that. And, that's just a good story. So, Mr. Beast has, and I've had, the opportunity to meet him a few times. I was on Beast Games, and, he spends most of his time developing a story, not the thumbnail, not the title. He develops the premise of a story. That's what he does. And, going back to that whole philosophy of, are you teaching people how to get rid of bed bugs, or are you talking about how someone died of a bed bug? That's really like the difference. It's like the old school thinking is how to fix a leaky toilet in 2026. The new philosophy is, could a leaky toilet cost you $1,000 a year?
Dang. Okay, so it's a lot about how you frame it then, but first there has to be some kind of story to frame around.
Yeah. So it's really about your mindset. Your mindset should be about a story not a thing. I call this button pushing. So if you teach someone how to fix a leaky toilet, it's almost like you're teaching them how to click a button. And I remember once I had a Mustang and I fixed the alternator, and I used the YouTube channel to help me like figure out how to fix the alternator. I never saw that YouTube channel again because I fixed the thing, and I know they didn't make any money for me, and I don't care about that creator. So never teach people how to click buttons. Never teach people just one thing. Teach them to fish. Like, so it's like, I even did this for vidIQ, 100,000 subscribers to 2 million subscribers. The biggest difference I did was, instead of teaching people how to click a button in YouTube to do a thing, like how to make a playlist, I would teach them why, or how to grow on YouTube, how to get more views on YouTube, how to get more subs on YouTube. So teaching them the fish will keep them coming back. Teaching them to do a specific task will guarantee that you'll never see them again.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, teaching them that the actual strategy instead of just what will work for one video. Got it. And something else I wanted to cover a little bit, which I'm really big on, is podcasting. I don't know. I feel like podcasting is almost its own category because it's not like you think of maybe like a Joe Rogan. Well, yeah. Joe Rogan has like 3-hour conversations. I mean, he's obviously the biggest podcaster in the world. 3-hour conversations. He doesn't, I mean, you look at his YouTube channel, he doesn't have thumbnails or crazy titles or anything like that. He's not doing anything to hook people. So do you think podcasts are almost in their own category, and are those safer than AI stuff? Or what?
So here's the thing. I would disagree with you. Lots of reasons. First off, he takes every moment of those 3 hours and makes a quadrillion vertical videos that are, I call these golden nuggets. So he takes these like 10 to 90, 30 second, 60 second nuggets that are devastatingly powerful as stories to tell. And what Joe Rogan does every time, he's like, did you see that? Look at that. That's his hook. Did you see that? Look at that. You're on your edge of your seat and you're wanting to see or look at that. Like 90% of his shorts right now or vertical videos say, did you see that? And then you're like, what did I see? I'm missing. That's called the curiosity gap. So the curiosity gap is going to really help that first 2 seconds get people engaged and hooked in. Now they're curious to see that thing. He doesn't explain it. He doesn't say, do you see that guy that was on drugs? He just says, did you see that? So that's his hook. So yes, he has a 3-hour show, but that 3-hour show might get 100 million views on YouTube Shorts. Just okay. So, and then if you're already famous, your name's enough. You don't need a title or a thumbnail. Okay, got it. Because you're already famous, and people are already used to getting value from you. Yeah, got it. Yeah, let's cover the difference between YouTube Shorts and mid to long form YouTube videos. What is the difference there? What should people be optimizing for? What are your thoughts there? So if you're into vanity, and I will argue, just like I said, that, I don't know, like clickbait is not bad if it's, done correctly. Vanity can actually be quite a good thing. Let's say you're selling a book or a course on pest control, right? If you have 100,000 subscribers, people are going to want to subscribe to you faster, and that social proof of you being like one of the top creators in the world is going to happen quicker. So vanity can actually be quite a phenomenal tool in this space for you to grow faster, grow your business faster, grow trust faster, to grow your audience faster. So if you're all about that vanity and getting views and subs and stuff, then shorts are by far the easiest way to get there. Much easier. If you're into making money or having people actually watch your content or being emotionally engaged with you, 99% of anything good coming out of YouTube comes from YouTube longs. From making money with ads to convincing and converting people to buy one of your products or books or courses. It's like 99% of the money, the brand deals, everything still come from YouTube longs. And even though there's billions and billions of views a day on YouTube Shorts, 74% of people's watch time on YouTube still come from longs.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know you've mentioned watch time several times in this podcast, and I wanted to dive into watch time. How can you, like a Colin and Samir, you were mentioning they were getting like an average of 45 minutes watch time, which is insane. How do you optimize for watch time? How do you get people to watch through a whole video?
So the way YouTube works is this is kind of my easy button version of YouTube, but it's click, watch, like. So click is your title and thumbnails. And I always like to say a dog can't be a cat. So in your title, you really need to put, like if you do pest control, you always need to put pest control or get rid of fleas or ticks or, whatever the topic category is extremely important to put in the title so that YouTube and your audience knows what the topic is. It's not necessary. It is a keyword, but a topic is a little different. If you go to the homepage of YouTube, there's these tabs at the top now, and they are based on your watch history. So topics could be, for me, I skateboard even though I'm old all the time, and I go fishing. So my topics are like fishing, skateboarding, working out, calisthenics, and at the top of YouTube's homepage, because YouTube knows that's my watch history, and that's the type of content they're going to serve me. So if you don't have the exact thing like pest control in your title, then YouTube is not going to know who to serve your videos to, and your audience is not going to develop. You also have to have a niche. So, if you talk about skateboarding today and pest control tomorrow, the audience is going to be so confused. YouTube's not going to know who to serve your videos to. So you really need to niche down and you really need to focus. Your thumbnail needs to have a reason to click and should match the title. So the thumbnail's the stop sign, so people stop scrolling on the right-hand side and read your title. So if, for example, I was making a video on pest control, I would make sure that the word pest control is in the title, and I would show some type of pest getting killed or something like that in the thumbnail so it matches the intent. And then in the first couple of seconds, when people go to the video, will hover over it. That's called the preview. You want it to match the intent of the title and thumbnail. So one thing Mr. Beast does a very good job on is he repeats the premise of the video in the first 2 seconds. So if the video is about, I helped 1,000 people see for the first time, that's going to be in the title. That's going to be in the thumbnail. And in the first couple of seconds of the preview, when you hover over the video, you're going to see people see for the first time. So the intent should all match. YouTube and the audience should know exactly what the video is about. And that is like the starting point. Then you need to hook people into a good premise, storytelling premise, so that people really understand, going back to the concept of, is your toilet costing you $1,000 a year versus how to fix a leaky toilet?
Okay. So those first 2 seconds are really important. You also mentioned the first 30 seconds. It's actually, I told you, I've been running this podcast for like a year and a half, almost 2 years at this point. And I've never had like a a great intro, like maybe a Diary of a CEO or even a Jack
Right.
Neal, where it's a minute or so of the highlights in the show. And I decided that this show with you today, I am going to have that first minute or so be like a great highlight reel. So I thought that was super relevant, and it's just like what all the big successful creators do, right? You have to get those. So how do you think about that? Is it first 2 seconds, then 30 seconds, and then end of the video? Is there another time frame?
I'll give you a practical example. So I ran the largest skateboard YouTube channel for 5 years, 6
Wow.
million subscribers. And what we did with them is the first 5 seconds was what the title and thumbnail was about. In like a montage of people falling and screaming and landing, and before they land the trick, we blurred it out and we let the audio of people screaming, "Yeah, you did it!" You know?
No.
Yeah. So it's like, but it's blurred out so you can't see it. So that's the tease. That's the curiosity gap. So the intro, in my opinion, the first 30 seconds, you must have 70% of people still watching. That is a huge trigger for YouTube. If 40% of the people are still watching in the first 30 seconds, YouTube's not going to share your video. So you have to make the first 30 seconds so compelling that most of the people should still be watching in the first 30 seconds. That means, going back to the title and thumbnail, you have to match the intentions. You have to make sure YouTube's sending this to the right people. You have to master that first 2 to 3 second hook, and then that kind of montage of the first 30 seconds promise has to be compelling enough to where people are, within the first 30 seconds, YouTube realizes you're either going to watch the video or you're not. So that first 30 seconds has to be better than the rest of the video.
Got it. Something else I wanted to cover was the niching down aspect. I know you talked about this a little bit earlier in the show, and I'm a big proponent of this as it relates to business and podcasting, but you're definitely, much stronger than me on the YouTube front. So, and I wanted to mention this example. Like I told you, I was watching you on Joy Hawkins' webinar, and you were auditing different YouTube channels, which I'd recommend everyone go watch that. Go to the Sterling Sky YouTube channel. She's great on everything local SEO. But you were auditing one YouTube channel, and it was a fitness channel, and you said it wasn't niche enough. And you were saying that they might have to go into calisthenics or something even within being a gym bro or whatever. So how do people know if they're niche enough? And just what's your advice there?
That's a very interesting question. A lot of this is common sense, and a lot of this can be solved with AI. So, like even on Creator Unlock, we have a niche tool, where we will tell you what your niche is, and then you can edit it and update it. But we'll tell you, based on all the data on your channel, who you are and what you do, what your purpose and value and mission and goals should be. But let's just look at it from a practical, like common sense perspective. Working out is huge. The first thing you should do is figure out what kind of workouts you do, and then you should study the top 10 creators in that regard. So, for example, there are creators with millions of subscribers that just do calisthenics. There are creators with millions of subscribers that just do like muscle gain or abs. And when you see a universe this large, you're going to probably realize pretty quickly that someone doing 100 push-ups a day are not the same person that are running. Or someone that's running every day probably doesn't want to bench press 500 pounds. So they're totally different people. Someone casually walking or losing weight, someone wants to lose 100 pounds, is totally different than someone who wants to swim 10 miles. So understanding your audience, and, when I was a kid, people used to say, like my grandparents used to say, don't be an underwater basket weaver. And what they meant by that is like, don't do some random obscure thing. What I'm telling you now is to be an underwater basket weaver. Find your exact people. There are a lot of blue collar clients I have that are so specified. They may only have 50,000 subscribers, but they're making millions a year. For example, one of my students, he's about 200,000 subscribers now, but he's the largest lawn weed control channel. So he's teaching people how to control their weeds. He's also teaching people how to create weed businesses. It's called Lawn Care Life. And he's just a happy redneck out of Birmingham, Alabama. And this dude's making millions of dollars a year. So it's not the size of your audience. It's not getting views. It's not going viral. You could easily make $1 million a year with 10,000 subscribers if you have the right people in the right niche. If you're everything to everyone, you're going to be nothing to no one.
Amen. And that applies to everything in content and business. So
Everything.
Love that.
And I have no difference of opinion as far as the business goes. Your website, your business card, everything should have the same message. So, for example, Roger Wakefield is all things plumbing. On his website, on his business cards, in his mind, when he tells people, what do you do? You know, he teaches people all things plumbing. So then he can talk to plumbers, he can talk to apprentices, he can talk to moms who own houses. It doesn't matter. He just talks about the plumbing stuff.
Yeah. No, I love that you've continued to bring this back to home services, because that's a big portion of my audience, whether they're home service owners or home service marketers. And I wanted to get clear, especially for a lot of these guys who, I mean, maybe they have a YouTube channel set up, but they probably haven't even posted any videos. So, like, how do you get started? How do you begin building a YouTube channel for your home service business that will actually generate you revenue?
It's a very, very, very hard question to answer. First off, you have to believe in video. You have to be willing to get on camera, and you have to be willing to suck for your first 100 videos. If you believe, and I'll give you an example. Joy, when I started working with them, they probably had like 100 or 2 subscribers, and now they're arguably the second or third largest channel in the world for what they do. And they did not believe at first at all. They're like, this sucks. It's so hard. You know, they have like multiple people like editing and filming. Like, it's hard to do this. I believe mindset's really important. If you're out there and you're a believer of video, you watch TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube videos, you can do it. What you can't do, though, is you can't duplicate what someone else does. You have to be yourself, and you have to do it in your way. So as far as what's starting, like the reason I created Creator Unlock is we actually help people to find their niche, do deep research so that people, this is a hard problem to answer. I've spent the last 3 years, well, last 19 years, but specifically the last 3 years developing a software to do this, where what we do is say, okay, what's their channel? Let's audit it. What's their niche? Let's really edit it and make it perfect. And then we're going to go do the deep research for you. We're going to research between 300 and 500 videos and say, okay, these are the top performing videos in the world for what you want to talk about. Now, when you want to make a title or a script or a thumbnail, we're going to tell you what to do. We're going to tell you what to create, what the next 10 videos are. We're going to have a scripting tool that is based on the best performing videos in the world. And that is really hard to figure out. And I'm not trying to sell my software here. I'm just saying, like, that is a problem.
Yeah.
I'm working with a lot of real estate agents right now, and man, they're struggling. They are struggling. The reason they're struggling is they're not video people. They're not video editors. They're not online marketers. You know, there are so many skills like writing, script writing, titles, thumbnails, graphic design, video editing. It is really crazy hard. So I do believe that AI is going to be a huge game changer for small businesses, whether you're home services or not. If you believe in video and you stick with it, you'll be okay. If you think you're going to make a couple of videos and go viral, you're going to fail.
And And to be clear, what do you think that looks like in the future? Do you think people will go into like ChatGPT or Google VO and just give it a detailed prompt and then it just generates the video and then you post it? Or like what will be required? What do we need to do to prepare for that future of AI video?
Let's say right now, today, 99% of YouTube channels suck. They get less than 1,000 subscribers. And I'm not saying that makes you suck, but I'm just saying in general, like the quality of the content, the watchability, the thumbnails, the titles, they're not very good. My 19 years of experience makes me feel that people's minimum effort is going to keep it the exact same. So you're always going to have like the top 10% of people making real money and doing real things. And then you're going to have 90+% of the people making crappy videos, wasting people's time. So I think the biggest thing to consider is your uniqueness, your quirks, your humor, your grumpiness, like what makes you you should be at the forefront of videos. I think, AI videos are going to be boring for the most part. So what makes people want to work with you? What makes people want to fall in like with you? What's going to make people want to subscribe to you? So if you can be you on camera, you're going to probably do better than 90% of the people out there. If you do the minimal effort with AI tools, you're better than you were without AI tools, but you're no better than 90% of the people out there.
Yeah, that's what I figured too, because I feel like people talk a lot about AI video, but yet I feel like there's just going to be a lot of garbage out there. But anyways, I think that's a good place to wrap up the show. I've got one final question for you, Jeremy, and that would be, it kind of ties into the last two questions and things we've been talking about. What is your message for the local businesses out there or just the creators out there? What do you want to tell them? What do you think they need to know?
I think that you should really believe in one aspect of what you do. And I really think you should manifest for 30 minutes every day of what you want to achieve. I also believe what your website and your business card and your Facebook page and your YouTube page and your Instagram account should all be the same thing. If you tell your grandmother what you do for a living, you should have zero difference between your YouTube page, your business card, and your website. And I think in the age of AI, in the age of where we are, you should niche down as far as you can go. One thing I can say with extreme certainty in the last 19 years of doing this is the plumber or the drywaller is going to make more money than the person going viral doing dances. Like they're going to make thousands of % more money when you have something to offer, sell, add value to, entertain people. You're going to make a lot more money. I also would say, especially with local SEO, local marketing, what makes you better? What makes you different? If you're not telling people your actual value, they're not going to know about you locally. And obviously you always want to add city name, neighborhood name, things like that.
Amen. Well, that was a great final message. Jeremy, this has been so awesome, man. You are a wealth of knowledge. This has been a pleasure sitting with you here. I'm going to binge every other interview that you've been on. And man, I just really appreciate your time here. And this has been awesome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. So where can people find you on social media and connect with you?
It's Jeremy Vest or Creator Unlock everywhere. And everyone can get a free channel audit at creatorunlock.com.
Okay, cool. So creatorunlock.com, follow you across all different platforms. So all those links will be in the description. And anything else you'd like to plug or promote?
Nope.
Cool. Well, thanks again, Jeremy. This has been so awesome and appreciate you.
Thank you.
Of course. Hey guys, Danny Leibrandt here. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Local Marketing Secrets. And if you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you have any key takeaways, questions, or guest recommendations, I'd love to hear them. Finally, if you're listening on podcast platforms like Spotify or Apple, please leave us a review and tell me what you think there. All right, that's all I've got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.